I know you're clinging to the light of day, to tell you everything's a-okay, and medication don't do much. Yeah, it just numbs the brain. Guess you might say I'm a little intense. I'm on the bright side of being hell-bent. So, take it from me, you're not the only one who can't see straight. If you were ever in doubt, don't sell yourself short. You might be bulletproof. Hard to move mountains when you're paralyzed, but you gotta try. And I'm calling out, get up, get up, get a move on. Get up, what's taking so long? Get up, get a move on. Stop stalling, I'm calling out. Get up, get a move on. Get up, ain't nothing wrong. 'Cause I believe you can be whatever. And I agree you can do much better. Trust me. Trust me. Everybody wants to sing their song. So Marvin Gaye, what's going on? Ain't nothing normal when it comes to you and me. I'd rather twist myself in knots and watch you give up on your dreams. If you were ever in doubt, don't sell yourself short. You might be bulletproof. Hard to move mountains when you're paralyzed, but you gotta try. So I'm calling out, get up, get a move on. Get up, what's taking so long? Get up, get a move on. Stop stalling, I'm calling out. Get up, get a move on. Get up, ain't nothing wrong. 'Cause I believe you can be whatever. And I agree you can do much better. Trust me.
Yeah, I don't know why I never talk about it. I guess that's probably part of the problem. Yeah, sometimes you're wrong, sometimes you're right. I'm just gonna keep moving. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep moving. Today, tomorrow, another day.
Get a move on. Get up, what's taking so long? Get a move on. Stop stalling, I'm calling out. Get a move on. Get up, ain't nothing wrong. 'Cause I believe you can be
Okay, I'll get the boom down to my headset. That way it'll unmute me. And apologize for the delay. Still trying to figure out if I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm probably happy with that view. There's a lot of stuff. I've hauled out all my PC Junior stuff that I had around, and about 2/3 of it, well, or maybe more, is maybe 75% is the stuff I've had for actually decades. And I made the comment when I posted this on the PC Junior news group, the PC Junior group on Facebook, that I don't ever think I've powered my units on, and so it's going to be interesting. And I have mixed feelings too. I have only one of the external bricks that came with it, and I realized that a lot of the there's a power board that's inside the PC Junior that can have problems, and there are modern substitutions. I'll provide all that, and just links out there. I went through and sent myself some links last night, as any part of preparation. I mean, the only other preparation I've done is move stuff, pull the stuff out and move it up here. This morning, that was the reason for all the delay. I got the stream set up, got the coming soon screen, and then went through to move the stuff in the mile between the house and the studio here, to bring things in. If I were set up in the other studio already, it'd have been a lot easier because I had the stuff there, but that's still kind of packed full. I'm using that as kind of a buffer area, moving stuff around. I'm trying to go through on my storage and get in some shelves so I can get more stuff in there, get it a little bit better organized, and to be able to have that as a storage. I mean, as what it's intended for. So I can have that new studio area a little bit more cleared out here. And of course, I had to move all the Mold 60 stuff off the bench and out of the way. But greetings to everybody that's going through and viewing. Are my audio levels good? I went through and I've turned on the swamp cooler. I went through and filled it with water previously, just in the thought that I was moving stuff around, got a little bit warm, that it will go through and cool the place a little bit, for during the time I'm here and everything. The studio is actually not so bad now. I mean, I've got a bunch of stuff. I'm going off screen. I'm just going to crack open the window a little bit, just so, and I got to get a screen back on there, just because, hopefully not to get any, I won't get any flies in here for this, too. But thank you for the feedback on the audio levels. And of course, anything PC Junior wise, primarily that's Mike Brutman. There's no doubt about it. There's some other fantastic pages out there, but Mike really has done a fantastic job. I don't know if he's necessarily on the PC Junior Facebook group. I know that Jim Leonard is. I think Jim is even an admin level there, and a lot of people know him by Trickster. I've had a little bit of interaction otherwise with him. And I've even seen him, I think, in making comments on the videos. I don't probably think that he's going through. I realize people have lives that he is watching, or certainly he can see this in replay later on. In the PCjr aspect, I'm a little bit out of my element. There's people that just with the odd design and things like that. And it's mainly Mike Brutman and others that kind of have helped me. And it's amazing, just even we'll go over a little bit of the uh, aftermarket stuff, the upgrades to go through and expand the PCjr. There'll be people like Retrotech Chris that says that Tandy did what the PCjr was intended to do, or does it better. And I think I've seen where it's like the concept really didn't work all that well for IBM. But I saw a number of like 500,000 units out there, 500,000. And so certainly I think that there's there's a Facebook group, not that there's anything special to that, but that's dedicated to the PCjr. But so it has a little bit of a cult following now. It has a little bit of people that are interested in expanding the limitations that the PCjr could have. So let's do. I gave the link to the. I gave the link in chat to Mike Brutman's pages on the PCjr. But there they are. And we get a pretty good. And again, the reason I look up is I have my OBS running on the big monitor above me. And so I have to look up to see what is basically showing. At least I have a monitor off to the side for my camcorder output. Doesn't necessarily have the webcam recording showing on that to see what might be blocked in that view. But I have the ability when I'm working on stuff, at least from my bench, to glance over at the monitor off view now, at least, to see what's being presented. So, and no doubt I'll have the new studio set up in a lot of the same way, to where I'll have a monitor in the background and things like that that I can quickly kind of look at to see what is showing. Even plan a almost like a podium level. I've got a podium planned for that aspect. I've got the big cart moved down there, very similar to the benches here on wheels, and the bench is a lot higher and things like that. It allows me to go through and show stuff. But so I don't know if people are going through. Certainly they can look through this link. I'll include it in the video once it goes out and is available in replay as well, besides the chat. And so down at the bottom of that, and they even have a PCjr web forum, and I need to check out that more. I looked over a little bit last night, but the on this, at the bottom of this page, or for the subpage listings, the index, it shows the modifications. I was even looking at the upgrading a printer sidecar to be bidirectional. Simple modification. Just amazing that someone has come out and kind of done that, and they've rediscovered it and linked it in. And I mean, it's just Mike Brookman, the pages he has set up for the PCjr, as well as other stuff he covers very well. That's the place to go. I'm sorry. It's not the ardent tool in this case, although that covers a big aspect in the microchannel systems from IBM and otherwise. And Thomas has gone through and has pushed out some major updates here in the last day. I was even considering going back to the PC convertible because he did a lot of updates on it. Although, it's mostly complete. It gives us an aspect to look at certain points there and say, okay, do you need more pictures of this, more pictures of that, to fill in and to build on that page. But I decide it's time to do the PCjr. I mean, I've gone through, of the parts that I haven't had for decades, as I say, maybe 25% is more recent. And that's the stuff that I picked up from Computer Reset on my visit back when in January. Seems so long ago now, even though it's not really just a matter of a few months. But I did get some extra stuff. And one of the things that we'll kind of look over is the aspect of maybe duplicates and things like that I have as well, because there are I've gone through and haven't really done an inventory of the items I had. So a lot of time I picked up duplicates. I thought, hey, I didn't have this. And in fact, one of the things, in fact, I may have to just kind of step off screen and come back on, because I thought about this. I'll be able to bring all this out as it is, stepping over stuff, stepping over my cable links. Yeah, I wanted to grab this before I got going, and it'll just have to be coil it up a little bit nicer and things like that. Thankfully, the tripod I'm bumping is not the camera, not the camcorder. It's all for that cable. I need to get a longer HDMI cable, actually, and I've got an HDMI cable here among this. And this is, I wanted to bring this out. I talked about the PC convertible as it was anyway. And, oh, there's a USB. Okay, so this is the video capture board. And of course, this does more than just the CGA. And I use this on the PC convertible. We talk about links. Yeah, I want to get kind of some things separated as I go through and kind of coil this off to the side. But this could do a video capture if I needed to from the PCjr. And we'll just have to see on how far this goes. We can put that over the top of all that stuff. Talk about longer HDMI. Well, it's about the same length. I think that's a 6 foot. And that's certainly a short HDMI cable there. That's It's a little bit over a foot, or maybe a foot of really active. And then I got the USB machine there because I thought, that's one of the things I didn't get from Computer Reset. And the Computer Reset, when the time frame I was there, they did have, of course, the more elaborate sidecars and things like that. The really more desired, the Raycore sidecars, the really fancy stuff that was big at that time of the PC Junior, and that's even before these modern day retrofits, of course, that weren't at Computer Reset, even though they're available after the fact. I'll go through even one or a few of the major retrofits that you can do on the PC Junior is actually by a place close by to Computer Reset, effectively, of TechSelect. And Kevin and Sarah Williams, and that I do have a few of those TechSelect adapters. I've gone through mail order, but I didn't go through. There was, at that time that I was at Computer Reset, there was a stack of PC Junior monitors. They'd gotten down to the testing, and I think Clint went over on video of that area where they were going through and testing still a little bit for the PC Junior monitors, and they're getting down to a little bit more of the ones that were complete, the cases and everything else. But I think the video output and things like that was not really good. And I do have a PC Junior monitor. In fact, I even have where the adapter I had from, I'll have to look, I've probably got that somewhere else as well. It's not really important right now, but I have that adapter to go from conventional CGA to the PC Junior and also the PC convertible video output. So you could go through and you could use it on, strangely, you could use the CGA monitor for the PC Junior on a conventional CGA output, like an IBM PC that had CGA output. And I want to express as well that video output, the strange connector, and I have my monitor kind of at the feet, and that's the reason I brought up the video capture, is I didn't necessarily know that if we want to fire up this monitor after all these years without really checking it out previously. It is a little bit discolored. It's there's probably where it needs to be dusted out. I probably don't want to put it into service so quick, but it's off to the side here, and this is the connector for it that goes through, and I'll show all the spare motherboards and things like that I have as well. In fact, I got to make sure. Here I am showing stuff, and then I've got the browser capture going, hiding all the view of stuff. As I say, I have to be aware of what I'm showing. I want to make sure that I get off being blocked by. In fact, let's go through. And get off screen there. That way I know I have the full field of view. But this is the video output for this monitor, and that's the reason I have the video capture, in addition to presenting information on, when the PC Junior is running. So I could do video output rather than using the monitor, video capture. And of course, one of the things you'll see there is the you see the speaker grill, and so this does have, and it has a volume control on the front. The first control here is the volume, and so there is mono-aural, just mono, one side, not a stereo output of 2 channels, or one audio channel, I guess is the way to say it, that goes to the modder. And the PC convertible modder is the color modder, the 5145, is the same as has the same connection. And so that also has an audio. And so one of the things I was updating Thomas last night is I was saying I need to look for where the audio is on that connector, because we didn't have it marked for the PC convertible prior to this. And I found where that is. So no doubt that'll be updated. So let's get to the systems here. I've got, of the systems I had around, and most of the stuff that's up here is stuff that I've had for years. I've even got quite a bit of stuff down below that maybe half of it or 2/3 came from that I've had around, and another third that that came from Computer Reset. And there I'm need to pay attention to what's on the screen. Okay. So I've got, a PC Junior unit here. It's got this one single sidecar, and that's looking pretty good. Although, I mean, it's in an area, at least this is enclosed. We'll have to pop the top and kind of to see. I'll go through it. I have the Clorox wipes. This is not an endorsement of these wipes. You don't want to use these as baby wipes. But they are very good for wiping down computers. And we can crack it open. But you can see the storage I had, at least it was cool and relatively dry, but I did have mice around in that area. And luckily I had cats in a way that were around that area, but relatively close by these units. I had the cats were even using the area in the basement as a litter box. And they were killing the mice, but they were leaving just as much of a mess. I don't have them getting down there anymore. We only have one of the cats that roams around and gets in the basement. She's a hunter. She goes after a gray tabby, goes after the mice and other small animals that live around the house are at their peril. So I just want to explain the conditions a little bit. I mean, these are stored in relatively good condition, but I did have mice and roaches and things like that around. Thankfully, a lot of time, if they're sealed units, it's just a lot of the surface dirt and dust and things like that can happen. That might have been a mouse dropping. But it shows up more on even the books that I have. Stuff that I had around, and don't worry, this is actually tissue paper from a like a hot air balloon mock-up that I did in in college. That was just happened that the tissue was there and that area was wet. And this is probably more of the cat stuff necessarily than even the mice. As I say, that was, but it gives this a really antique view, and that's maybe a good thumbnail or something else of introducing the IBM PCjr. As I say, it's a little bit off my known subject matter. I know that I recognize the experts that are out there a little bit more. But I should go through and should study this more, you know, and we even have where those first few pages. Okay, introduction, meet the Roberts. I'll have to see the how these pages are doing pretty good. But this, this book is just thankfully the insides are, and I know even Raymond Jett, he talked about on the PCjr group on Facebook last night about he's got more of the basic carts as it is. But this shows the items that were available at the time: video display, compact printer. I've got the compact printer around too, and Mike covers it on his pages, of course. Anything related to basic. We'll go over the basic, no pun intended, aspects a little bit more here too. So there's a PCjr with the IBM color display, a conventional color CGA monitor that is with the PCjr in that picture. And I know Mike Brutman goes over on his pages and talks about some of the material that IBM released shows the conventional CGA monitor instead of the PCjr specific display. We have, and this is a little bit better condition, Win Rosh book of even the new Junior Guide to the IBM's PCjr. And this is in a lot better shape. It's still a little bit dusty, showing the insides. And programming in BASIC. Like I say, we'll talk about that a little bit more. And there's other items I have. There's Mike Brutman shows these. I have two separate samplers, as it is. And this even looks, I think I got one of these at Computer Reset, and I had the other one in my inventory already for decades. And these actually look in really good shape. These are, and of course, they're probably imaged already online. But that looks like, compared to the books, that almost looks like in new condition. This is probably the one I got from Computer Reset. My inventory one is shiny still, but it has dust from sitting there. This side, it looks like this side up, just an accumulation of the apparently the constant dust in my house. I had this around, probably the same thing as exploring. Who knows? That might be a different program, but just to go through and maybe see with that. Even at the more high end, Lotus 123 PCjr installation kit. And you could have Lotus 123 for your PCjr back in the day. And the it looks like that pack has been kind of half open. But there you have the Lotus install disk, system disk backup And we see all these names from back in the day too. The Maxell, yes, I mean even Lotus being a name in the past too, before they were bought by IBM. But BASF diskettes, that's a blast from the past. And oh, there's other tutorial disk. Might be good to image this when I get a chance, if it's not done already. Lotus IA print graph. And I have no idea where I got this. Lotus IA, or maybe that's a Lotus 1A utility. Maybe that's the version for the PCjr is the kind of a version numbering of 1A. Maybe. I don't know. I didn't look to see if this is, probably Mike Bertman does cover it to some form. The keyboard. This would be a good scan of a manual too, if it's not done already. Running 1, 2, 3 on the PCjr. Gives a little bit of requirements. Starting a session. Configuring your system. Talking about the OneDrive or multi-drive systems. So there's that. This is in pretty good shape. I think I got this. This may be, I think this is another computer reset sourced item. Basic made easy for the PCjr. And I think even a lot of the same sort of graphics as we saw with the PC convertible. But this is an item that I had in inventory, hands-on basic, same sort of thing, but you know, more than double the size, the thickness. Branch block, loop block applications. Because the PCjr, of course, is marketed at the home environment, even marketed towards kids, as shown in these cartoons. Go sub. Top down. I mean, this is, you know, in preparation for programming. You have projects. I saw top down programming in session 11. You know, interesting stuff. I wonder if some of this, I think a lot of this is probably scanned. I do have two of these. One is in worse shape than the other. This is the stuff I had on inventory. Basic personal computer for PCjr. I think these have the same. Yeah, they've got the same FRU part number. But just a little bit of the conditions that these were stored in. Oh, there's the, I have another one of these off elsewhere too. There's the cartridge basic. Stuck in the cartridge. But at least on the inside, these binders, for all the length of time I've had them, these are very good condition. The binder covers are a little bit worse for wear. This one's a little bit better. But the same thing, I want to put this basic cartridge back in. It's interesting that it has it on cartridge for the PCjr. It does have a diskette This is probably your own diskettes, though. To put in the binder as a way to store diskettes. I need to see if the other one, because I do have one of these loose otherwise, or relatively loose, or was loose. I need to see if this has the cartridge, the basic cartridge too. It does. And it's got some of the stuff outside the binder. Doesn't look like it's torn or anything. Just looks like it's separated from the rings. So identical contents, and with the cartridge basic, you know, these chips are at least still good, likely, the way that they've been stored. So as I say, I've got in my box of stuff, I've got down, here's another, oh, that's Mineshaft. I do have that. I thought I had another basic cartridge as well. I'll bring all that stuff out in a moment. So let's do the basic stuff. We'll have in a stack that we've already gone over. Let's put that there. We can get, in fact, I have another Clorox here. I've got some alcohol and some pads and stuff like that. I got my paper towels out. We went over all the introductory stuff. Okay, I showed this unit. I didn't really show, and a lot of my questions last night were, you see the diskette drive, you see the 2 cartridge slots. Let's look at the label on the underside. Okay, and then we have even the serial number and everything. Manufactured for IBM still. And model number 4860. A lot of my questions, oh, and I even have, there's an asset tag that's even on here that's all torn out. North Carolina. You could probably reconstruct the city of that. Now, the interesting thing is, you see that imprint. Let me get that. Where's that imprint? Okay, for the sun or the light picking up that a little bit. But I want people to see, you know, that stamped on the bottom of the case, the serial number, the same serial number from the label stamped on the bottom of the case. So you don't really see that in a lot of the other units. And that's even interesting that the asset tag is on the bottom. Normally you had those that were they were visible a lot of the time. And I have no idea where I sourced this unit in the end. It's got the one sidecar and of the parallel. And I was interested in, I still had out my parallel port postcode reader. And I was even wondering, in a way, I would highly doubt it, but the parallel port was a pretty common sidecar for these. I even wonder if it shows postcodes to the parallel port. Now, IBM had postcodes. They implemented postcodes with the XT. The original PC didn't have it. They implemented it later on to, and of course, you had an 8-bit board that, in fact, I realize I'm going off on so many tangents here and everything else too. Um, there we go. I was trying this with the Mul 60 the other day, and it didn't work for some reason. It didn't do the turnover of the postcodes, but you had a postcode reader. It's on the 8-bit bus, and that gave you the postcodes for that. IBM didn't put the postcodes being output to the parallel port until the PS2 series. So I doubt if that works even for the PC convertible or the PC Junior to where it would display postcodes. But otherwise, since the bus is different to the PC Junior, I wouldn't expect that there's a postcode reader for that. So I don't know if even I didn't see or didn't read far enough on the PC Junior BIOS to know if the postcodes were implemented in BIOS. Now, I did, last night I was mainly looking for questions on the ports on the back. And as I say, the audio was really, easy to see where that was, that there's actually a bodge wire that goes to the display. This is the display port. This is the serial port. And then you have your audio and your composite video for the V. A for audio, V for that composite video. M is the internal modem if you have it on there. C, I have to look. There is a unit that I'll pull out that does the RF output to a TV, like we were used to back in the day, growing up, to where you hooked up your computer to the TV and tuned it into channel 3 or 4 with the RF modulator to display video. There's the power connection. As I say, I've got one power brick and the on-off switch. The J ports here are joystick. S is a serial port, actually. I didn't explain that. And then you have some of the things. K is the keyboard. If you had it wired, we'll get looking at the keyboard here in a moment. The L, the LP, and the T, I'm not quite sure. The T might be, certainly the connector looked like that composite or that RF modulated device. Now, so there's the PC Junior. These are, and I had one of these, the one that's in the box. It's new old stock that I have of a PC Junior, and I've got it in the anti-static bag for this one. But these, as some of the other items, were the loose stuff from Computer Reset. There's the planer. You have your cartridge slots. You have your sidecar bus connector. And there's pictures of this certainly on Mike Brutman's page of the PC Junior, showing all the different connections. Here is it's like the internal modem and diskette drive controller connections. There is the power. We'll get looking at the power aspect here in a moment. As I was saying last night, here is the audio jack, little piezo speaker on the motherboard. And I wanted to determine what pin of the audio was on that display connector. Because remember, we have a speaker on the monitor for the PC Junior, and the same connector is used for the color display, the 5145 of the PC convertible. And that also has an ear jack and a volume connection, volume control, excuse me. So this wasn't the planer that I looked at last night, at least, I'd have been a little bit hard pressed to say, okay, where's the connection from this audio back to the display connector? And thankfully, I had maybe an older planer of this one that has a bodge wire from the audio to the B9 of the display connector. This is the display connector here. This is the serial connection. And this is marked as that C or something else output. We'll have to determine what is what there. In fact, I'm going to spin this around a little bit. So that is marked C for that connection. And I'll have to figure out what that is. Let's pull out the new old stock. And I masked this off. I may have shown this on video before, long time ago. But here is a new old stock planer. That doesn't have the bodge wire either. But brand new condition for this one. And so and it's just an opportunity to pick something like that up. I was aware that I had it even for my computer reset trip. And that I just had it as a part of my inventory before for and probably even the box that it came in. And so this is marked with an address of at least where I would have gotten it, UPS tracking and things like that I could look over a little bit more in detail. Okay. So there you have the Cumberland County Board of Education, account number, the part description, IBM PCjr system board without keyboard. They have the part and the date shipped. And this is not the date shipped to me, but in 1997, the 11th, I'm assuming the 11th of February, 1997. And then they have a warranty date of a warranty expiration date a year later. But kind of amazing for all that. So what I'm going to do is I will get these other PCjr motherboards in anti-static bags soon as well. And let me look. Oh, light pin. Yeah, that's an excellent thing. And it's even where on the PC convertible, Thomas saw a connection that's internal on the PC convertible display slice. And it is a connection that looks like a light pin. So kind of interesting. We'll have to probe out that a little bit more. And so here I've got the quarter. I'm going through and just these prize slots. And I want to see what this looks like internally. I'll go through and clean it up. So there is dust inside. That might have been operational dust at the time or something else. But here's the power board. Big capacitor here. we'll get talking about this power because that's one of the things that I want to visually examine this power board before I would go through and start this thing up, or run it from the power brick. And just because there's the potential, I wouldn't want to damage something by just applying power. We see so it doesn't have the internal modem. It has this is and you can see on Mike Brookman's page, that's the infrared keyboard. And we'll get looking at the keyboards here in a moment as well. Is that like an RF modulator? I'm not sure why. Oh, and that's not there's a diskette drive connection there. I'm not sure. Okay. So that has a shield over it. Oh, that is that memory expansion? Yeah, I believe that's memory expansion. Because the memory for the PCjr is up in this area. And that just has a shield over the top of it. But there is memory, a memory board. I'd have to look over the page a little bit more to understand what the capacity of that is. I know that there's some aftermarket upgrades as well. Get this on the same way. It's got this nice little shield that goes over the top of it. And of course, the diskette drive concealing a lot of this area. We've got a fan, Panasonic fan in there for moving some air across in the system. But that's a kind of an overview of the inside of the unit right up front. I mean, you can see this, of course, online on Mike Brookman's and other pages. Let's go through. How are we doing on? Oh, we're at even after I started late, so we're just shy of an hour of me actually being on screen. But while we're at it, I did check on chat just a moment ago. And I know I talked about powering this up, but I have concerns otherwise. So one of the things I want to do, let's do that for the next link and the next look before we move on a little bit here. Okay. That dirt's coming off. So another link I sent to myself. Okay. And this is covered in other areas. This even has a Hackaday did a coverage of this as well. This is okay. This is, wow, that's interesting for that page. I guess that's more of probably the OBS didn't handle that well. But there's a power adapter that replaces is the modernized for this big, for the big power board that's in there. And that's a Pico supply. What it does is it goes through, it's a 20-pin connector. You don't use the 24-pin connector, but it goes through, and for low power systems, ATX, that's what you plug in. You can plug into this little circuit board, and it then you have the switch and the same lead basically for your, like your drive and stuff like that, and then to the motherboard connector. But these are for all that, and there's the kit that you have to go through, I guess, probably assemble. It doesn't include the Pico PSU, but I've got a couple of those around. And I would probably go through the assembly service add-on. Looks like it's quoting at $5 each for the assembly fee. And I probably would get one complete, maybe get a kit as well. I'm not so bad on soldering, maybe, but I need to get one of these on order, so I can go through and power up. And I'll have the one power brick anyway, and then these go through, and you supply just higher amperage 12 volt to the Pico power supply, and it'll go through and be able to run that without the thought of having to use that old the power brick, which there can be issues with those sometimes. Those weren't really switching voltage displays. And it's important to note that these units I had saved away. So there's a reset button and the power switch that can be put on there. I'll just scroll through, and I provide the link in chat, of course, for that too. So I need to get some of those, and I would recommend those to any PCjr owner as well, just as a way to go through and retrofit the PCjr to a newer type of power supply. There's all the parts list and everything else. That would go through and recommend that to people that have the PCjr. And of course, I may be preaching to the choir for all that for the PCjr owners that know that, but it's just a good. It looks like a good substitution in place of that big that power board for the PCjr that that has that has that big capacitor, and that's supposed to be, if you leave your PCjr with that original power board powered connected up to there's still voltage that goes through that transformer. And at least for my units, I've had them stored away. I haven't had them connected to power, but you're decreasing the life of that power board as well. When you have it plugged in constantly, if you even have one of those in use, you probably want to unplug it between the times that you use it. So that is one of the next links. I don't think I linked the Tech Select adapters in there. So I went through. Certainly I can clean on a little bit more of the PCjr before I would go through and get things running. But let's go through and let's set this off to the side for now. Okay. I shouldn't have to get through my cable. So here, and same thing in cleaning, This is the hardcover carry case. And I've actually got the keyboard. There's a spot for the keyboard underneath. And this was still kind of halfway opened when I had to make sure that, that's make sure I didn't do any of the tumblers. That's got a combination lock, and it wouldn't be hard to go through and decode this with time for just being a 3-digit combo lock. But this is the hardcover carry case for the PCjr. I don't want to put that too far, bumping my monitor, my background monitor in that. I don't want to disturb it so much. But this is my other PCjr that I had. And since it was in the hardcover case, even though that was open, it's in a little bit cleaner condition. Although still a little bit dusty over the badge. IBM PCjr. And we see in this instance that this has, more sidecars on it. And it looks like the carry case could have up to the 3 slices, the 3 sidecars on it. And I'm leaving my Yeah, and I agree. Thanks for the input on talking about the power adapter. Those Pico ATX supplies are really neat, but yeah, you do need a higher current 12-volt power supply. And I actually run those. I just ordered one. I use this on my security camera systems for powering up the DVR, and the cameras are 12 volt. And so I'm used to those, and those are not too bad. In the US, they're $15 USD, United States dollars. And so coming by those is, it has additional cost, but I would say going through, you're better off using these Pico power supplies and getting that external brick, switching power supply of 12 volts, 5 amps, as you're saying, for powering up the PCjr. And so yeah, I can go through and state that up front if it's not otherwise on that. Maybe they just think that that people have one of those at their disposal. I realize I'm off camera again. I was off the side talking. This does have the 3 sidecars, including one from Microsoft. And I'm guessing that whole sidecar is just a mouse. Maybe. That's probably for the old green, so-called green-eyed or gray-eyed mouse, maybe, that had the serial connection. I mean, I'm guessing that's a serial connection. And you did have, you had the serial connection here as well. So maybe this is more of like, I don't know. I'd have to study this a little bit more to find out what that Microsoft sidecar, and that's quite a bit more discolored. In fact, that's distinctive that discolored in a much more dramatic way, even universally, with that one piece of plastic discolored, and then the sidecar cover that's put out here on the end, didn't discolor. It stayed the same color as the other sidecars. So there's And these aren't otherwise identified externally. There, of course, clearly is a parallel port for parallel port sidecar, just like I have on the other one. And then this one with the dip switch, I don't know if that's RAM or something maybe. I don't see an external, any external connector there to the sidecar. And I still have my quarter handy. So let's take a look inside there. And so this does have the internal modem. There's the internal modem. And it's got that same memory expansion sort of thing. There's your power adapter. In fact, this looks like it's longer to me than the other unit. I like there's some difference between the power connector. It's just looks a little bit different there. And but really a lot of the same setup. It's at least it looks relatively clean inside. A little bit of dust on the capacitor. I need to do some pictures of this too. Not that there's pictures already on the internet, a couple places and everything else with the following that the PCjr has. So of the hardcover carry case, you have a little bit of spot below, and that's where the keyboard, and they even have embossed markings here. Without the PCjr in there, I could at least probably pick this up and move it around. And so they have it embossed at the bottom. They show the right way to put it in, and they have the X over the one with the keys up, because they have a little bit more of a lower recess to protect the keys, as it is in this case. And so you would have, we'll get to the keyboard here in a moment as well. And I did go through and I checked this one. It doesn't have any batteries in there, no alkaline mess. So you had this, and I think mine was even, I found this in a different condition. I think I found this keys up. But you have the keyboard in there like that. I've got some other stuff tumbling around here. They have the cartridge foam. At least this foam didn't degrade as much. And apparently it was stuck in here in that corner. This has come loose. Now I did have the folds of this foam on the side, and it actually has a slit in it. I'm not really sure why, but I've had that come loose in the corner, and with the PCjr that was in there, it has deformed how the foam would be in that spot. It looks like just a side piece of foam that had a slit in there for some reason. Now on the back, where did I put that? Oh, it slid to the front. So this is the keyboard connection when you have it wired, which was better than, we'll go over the infrared aspect of that as well here in a moment. But that was when you have it as a wired connection. This into the system board, of course, in the K, it's keyed in a particular way. And then it has a little retaining straps in the back here for In fact, this looks like almost a spot for the TV, the RF converter, which I'll show as well. But this was in the case, and then here is the power brick, and going through to where show a little bit of the lighting is. I'll have to see if I can get that to. So that is the. Okay, yeah, that actually shows up better. 16.7 volts AC. And like 56 VA, I think is what it is saying. But that goes ultimately in that spot and is fastened down. So let's go through and let's get this bigger unit back in the hard shell case. I don't want to deform that foam, or I want to start actually getting it formed up for going through and rejuvenating it, as it were. And this moment of truth, of course, that the combination lock is set appropriately or whatever. The okay. Or is that if the combination is so I'm just trying to go through and close that or whatever, and I could even have it upright like a suitcase. But if the combination is wrong, we're past the point of return for this video. I would have to go through and decode it otherwise. I wanted to go through, if that would close and stand upright, then it'd take a lot more space, a lot less space on the ground, because I want to get this unit back up. We're going through. Okay. And we'll have the clean supplies. So the keyboard. Now I want to check these. These two keyboards I got from Computer Reset. And that one at least doesn't have the batteries in there. I did grab some batteries in the thought that if I went through and had to power this up, it's got the elevation latches, and then this is infrared. And they call these I think they call these the chiclet keyboards. And then there's the wired connection. And these keyboards are absolutely horrible. Really soft, really horrible feel to them compared to the Model M keyboards. And of course, those will be cleaned up a little bit. This one's a little bit cleaner and has some marking, but let's look. Apparently the quarter is the coin for the PCjr. And then we have another asset tag. So no batteries in that one either. No alkaline corrosion, at least. Palm Beach County, Florida. Asset tag. And this is a keyboard that came from Computer Reset. There was stuff sourced all over for that as well. I want to go through, because it is time to discuss. Okay. Oh, let's show that first, because I have a few of these. And this actually has a current address on it. I masked it off. But, you know, IBM box, even where I sourced it back in the day. And do I have is there a date on this? Airborne Express is how it was sent. Second day service. I don't know why. I don't hope I wasn't charged for getting it quick. And this is brand new in box. It's even shrink wrapped. Okay, and that's for the PCjr. And I think that this is the same. You know, this is still bagged up. I'm probably the first one to take it out of the bag since it was made. There's your connections to the TV that you connected up to the antenna wires. There's your little computer, television, switch, RF modulation, and you did like the inputs from your antenna, your TV antenna in, and then you had this connected up to the TV for the antenna inputs, and then that tie wrap is brand new, factory, never been undone, and then you had this going into, and that's the same pinout. This is the same device that was used for the PC convertible. It has an RF output on the display board, the slice for the PC convertible, the same way that fits that. And at a later point, I was even looking it over last night. I was thinking that I have a TV there and everything that I can go through and show that RF, how that was done, because that's how I was used to computers. We didn't have a PCjr at home. In fact, that was when the PCjr came out, was a year before I went off into the military anyway. I'd have been 19 years old in 1984. But we had a Commodore 64. And so I was very used to using the TV as a display. And so yeah, that's the RF output. So, and this is going to be the same thing in a little bit more of a cleaner box, the same way. It looks like it's in brand new condition, still bagged up and everything else. Still even has a little tractor feed slip here. Oh, this does give a date. And I don't want to reveal anything more about other people as well. It doesn't look like it has any identifying information for whoever bought it. But Business Line invoice, Business Line Center number 031 in Glendale, California. Got the phone number. Date of, looks like the 2nd of March, 1985. Salesperson, if you're this salesperson, please contact me. Salesperson 738S, page 1 of 1. To Richard Martinez. There's the serial number, the TV connector, quantity, unit price of $30 and a customer signature. I don't think that that is, people can use that against him after all these years. From 1985. And even have where to send the payments with the tax and everything comes to $31.95. And it's got on the back of this tractor fed invoice. Okay. All the legal language. You can pause the video later on and replay to read that if you want. It's got the same materials inside. These are actually open though. This pack. It's not in shrink wrap, or that maybe wasn't the thing, or Business Land opened it, or something else of that nature. But that is another one. So I have two of these. I effectively have one for the PC convertible and one for the PC Junior now. I think I only have two of those. Okay, so this is still shrink wrap. This is a from Computer Reset, with it being like this, and this is the same as what this is here. This little for like I do with my video capture. So this goes through to from the PC Junior or the PC convertible, same pin out. We determine what pin the audio connector is on. B9 last night. I sent that information to Thomas, and it gives it to a standard DB9 for a standardized CGA monitor, or in my case, the video capture. So I know, what that is. So I've got, the one out of the box. I don't need to even open that one. Let me go through a little bit more on these other ones. These are all from Computer Reset. Okay. Now I have a few internal modems. Okay. Keyboard cord. Modem. Okay. Do that. Okay. So I've got two of these. These are the still shrink wrapped. This is from Computer Reset as well. The parallel printer attachment. This is a sidecar that we saw on the unit. Effectively this sidecar. Standard DB25 parallel port output. So we've got two of those, and those are still shrink wrapped. Beyond the each one on, or one on each of my PC Junior units. Let's put that. I'll bag everything up later for that. And then I've got the internal modem, still shrink wrapped. These are from Computer Reset. And so I've got three of those and one inside the unit that's in the hard carry case. The internal modem is not on this unit here. So we've got that. Okay. This at least is open. And okay, so for the serial cable, and this goes in the adapter just to a standard DB25, and it includes probably a 1-for-1 25-pin cable extension, and that's probably 6 foot. And I would think all the pins are wired for that. At least it has all the pins and the connector. So that combination, and although, you know, you look at this end, you say, well, that's not 25 pins. You know, that's just the limited amount of, and I think that is a, is it 18 pins? No, that is 16 pins for that. Okay, so I've got one of these. I'll show another aftermarket connector for that in just a moment. So that's cables. There's a couple loose things about the memory. And of course, the video of the PCjr being coupled to that system memory. So, and then there is the, even though I don't have the separate, there's a keyboard cable of some sort that I don't think I have that, or I'm trying to think, because in that hard carry case I did have that, had the RJ11 at one end and had the for wiring up the PCjr keyboard. So sidecars or remaining stuff. Yeah, this is probably a good place to be. Okay, so I'll go through and check this out a little bit more. This is the Tecmar Junior Captain memory printer clock software. I don't know if I'll have to look online for the software because I don't think I have the software necessarily. But the sidecar that went through, and I don't know what the additional connector is. Maybe a the serial side of things. Memory printer, or is it maybe additional memory? Maybe. And it's a little dirty and everything else. But that's the sidecar, the PCjr Captain, and it's got parallel port on back is what it looks like, and a power connection for running that. But that, and probably there's an internal view somewhere on like Mike Brutman's page or something else for that. So we have an Ethernet adapter, just the 10 base 2, and that's got a little switch block there for setting it up. And so that was the way to network, one of the ways to network the PCjr. I don't have the housing for that, though. And there are other adaptations. There's even like an ISA bus connection that you can do off the sidecar slot, where you and Mike Brutman's site goes into that a little bit more. There's a link to that that is interesting in that regard. Oh, there's the, oh, that's the mine shaft. We'll put that in that. Okay. And then I have this little doodad that was around my stuff. I'll have to figure out if that was, maybe that goes with that PC Junior or the Techmark Captain. I don't know. I'll have to get looking. And then I have the, so we'll leave that for last. But here I have the bottom of this box. I've got the Tech Select adapters. In fact, let me grab the anti-static bag. You know, it's opened, but one of these came in that Tech Select. These are the third-party things that are available for these PC Juniors, where it goes into the back of the unit and gives that CGA, that common CGA connection, and then the 9-pin serial connection. And it has jumpers on there. Okay. So the horizontal and vertical sync, I guess. And that is the Tech Select. I guess probably 2018 is the date. But the PC Junior CGA / serial board, you can find links to that just by searching on those terms of this being a Tech Select product. And that goes through and goes on the back of the unit like that to give a little bit more conventional connections for the ports. And then the other one I have from Tech Select is the joystick and keyboard. So the two joysticks, conventional DB15 connections, not the 9-pin, and has for use with the PC Junior keyboard, the wired connection, or you can do a PS2, like a Model M, to this 6-pin mini DIN. And still has a jumper on there of which keyboard is used. Jumper 1 to 2 for the PS2, 2 to 3 for the PC Junior, for that keyboard type that you would have connected to the unit. And this goes in, and you know, you look at and see all these port connections are all kind of similar. And that does block a little bit of that. I think that connection here on the end is for the pinout. That T, I believe, is the RF output. It's the only keyed connector that looks about that it matches up. And as it was provided in chat earlier, and thanks for that, LP meaning light pin. C, I don't know if that's like a composite video or something for the RF. Although that is a, to me, that looked like a little bit different of pinout. But those are the Tech Select third-party adapters that are available out there that I'll get besides that Pico ATX power supply adapter for just more peace of mind in powering these things up without the power adapters. No, now the one piece of hardware that I wanted to go over last here, and this is a little bit dirty as well, but This is covered on Mike Brutman's site. This is the PC compact printer. And this is thermal printer. In fact, there's a whole page on this on Mike Brutman's site on this PCjr pages. And it even has line voltage in, has a power switch. This is a thermal printer. And so this will work with the same thermal printer as the PC convertible. And this is actually a serial printer. That connection goes into what I have on the serial, the adaptation for the tech select adapter. This connector here is for that serial, for that cable adapter, like I showed earlier. There's 25 pin, or for this printer to be connected up to there. Okay, so we're down to some cartridges. Here's oh, okay. So here's Mineshaft, the book, and the cartridge. And I even found some old style, like the Lander and Centipede games on that Mall 60 that I had up on the bench recently. I need to go through and I even played Centipede a little bit. And it's maybe the system needs to be slowed down because I had amateur level and I wasn't really doing good at all. So there's PCjr color paint. Now I think a lot of these I had on hand previously as part of my inventory. I did not get them from Computer Reset. PCjr color paint. There's the cartridge in these PCjr sort of cases that they had. Okay. Okay, I don't know how that was mixed in. That's fine. Okay. There's Mauser, like a game. And this cartridge is, let's look at the back of it. Okay. Tells you what you need. And yeah, I don't want to break this cartridge because it's having a hard time opening. There's the book inside. Looks brand new condition. And shows a map of the 9 rooms. How to read the screen display. How to shift screen display. But all the keyboard keys, keyboard control, joystick control, helpful hints. And they wish you good luck at the end of that. Help farmer wheat bread as fast as possible. Time is against you. Good luck. And it shows the cat. And then it even has the reader comment form. You can mail in. And here is the cartridge for that. Copyright Gabelli software. I thought it was saying gerbil for a moment. Gabelli. Hopefully I get the right pronunciation. Probably Italian. Okay. Ah, very common one. This is what I've had on hand too. King's Quest. Take on the challenge. Find the magic treasure. Put on your armor and your thinking cap as you search the countryside in the days when knights were bold and brave. And shows the requirements in the back. Okay. There's even a diskette in here. There's the, oh, even has something different in here. Crossfire. A completely unrelated manual. Or let's put that, well, let's put that down there so I can, but here's a diskette. King's Quest. The cartridge. The cartridge is for Crossfire. Wow. So maybe I don't have a King's Quest cartridge. It's on, okay. Or that's on diskette, I guess. It shows how to close the diskette drive. So not a cartridge game for this one. Yeah. Caring for your King's Quest diskette. Okay. It has the things for joysticks and everything else. I'm going to just have that sealed up for that King's Quest. It had Crossfire in here. I don't have a case for that. There's your Crossfire. Looks like brand new condition. The mission. A swarm of insects has infested the city. You work as a professional bug exterminator. Everyone else has fled, but you feel it is your duty to clear the city of this plague of bugs. To make your job easier, you have 3 ships containing a limited supply of insecticide missiles. These missiles can be fired in 4 different directions. At the beginning of your mission, you have 35 missiles. For each screen you clear of all insects, you will receive 5 fewer missiles until you reach the minimum of 15 missiles. And this is the first edition in July of 1983. And this is back in the day when they showed manuals. They showed, hey, this is where your cartridge slots were. So keyboard control. I probably need to timestamp this video for, you know, so it has an index, so to speak, of people. So you had, there's Scuba Venture. And here is the cartridge. And Mike Berkman lays out a lot of the cartridges that were, all the cartridges that are available. Scuba Venture. There's little graphics. Welcome, you have entered the underwater world of Scuba Venture. Here you will help a diving team explore jagged, rocky caverns in search of valuable treasures. While exploring, your divers will encounter rare, priceless fish to collect, dangerous creatures to avoid, and locked treasure chests to open. poisonous fish, electric eels, seaweed, and seahorse. And then you're accompanied by a lone ghostly white diver. Watch out. And I don't know about the terms of ghostly and white that they're using there, but screen display. And this would be interesting with the video capture to get these on the big screen. Video captures like I did with the PC convertible. And that was my intent on getting out the video capture stuff I have, even though, okay, we have Jumpman in the entertainment family, and this is another one that the cartridge yeah, I don't want to, okay, so there's no cartridge in there. I wonder if, yeah, this is another diskette. There's no sleeve on that. But that diskette, it's got the Write Protect. And then there is the booklet. Red alert. For centuries, the Elinators have tried to expand their galactic empire, only to have been stopped by the United Forces, who are commanded from Jupiter headquarters. However, recent devastating battles have greatly reduced the number of UF troops, giving the Elinators a slight edge. The latest casualty is Beryllium, Jupiter's neighboring sector. Beryllium. The last transmission from Beryllium reported that Elinator cruisers had destroyed the major sites, including the Interplanetary Council headquarters. The defeat of the leaves Jupiter as the last stronghold against the barbaric Elinators. Up, down ropes. Scoring, changing speeds. Bonus Jumpman. Top secrets. Okay, and then there's your diskette, replacement certificate. So you could follow the steps to get a replacement copy. And its offer is valid until December 31st, 1987. And thereafter, as long as supplies last. Probably not going to be honored in this date and time. Okay. Because December 31st, 1987, we're getting 35, close to 35 years now. Okay. And to show that it's not all about games, we have the Andrew Tobias Managing Your Money with the IBM PCjr. You can do your checkbook, all sorts of stuff. Portfolio manager. You can manage your portfolio on the IBM PCjr with a cartridge. The lifestyle family. To avoid damage to diskettes, place cartridge in this slot only. So if you had a diskette that is also in the pack like this, actually it's more than one diskette. diskette 1 and diskette 2 in the same sleeve. And they have the product registration. And instead of the cartridge, it looks like for the diskettes that you're running bonus 2. Okay. Oh, okay. For $24.95. So you have the diskettes. So it looks like if I have the diskettes that I've got both for the PC side and the PCjr with the cartridge. Cool. Registration. And that's quite a pack new. I mean, this manual looks in very good condition. Acknowledgements. Why this manual is so short? It's required reading. And now they would just have this stuff online, of course. Managing your money. Maybe I should run this program and use it for myself. Which diskette is which? Always use the cartridge in the cartridge slot until you end the program. If it is removed while using the program, you'll lose all your unsaved data. So, daily startup, archiving your data, starting a new year. More than one person wants to use this program. And a final word. So, a final word. We are pretty much to the end of the items I have of the PCjr. Never went to the point. I'm going to go through and order the power adapters. I think that's going to be safer to power these PCjrs up. And I had those two separate games. I do have this. It got a little bit out of sequence. IBM PCjr favorite programs explained. So from Q. One even has some basic. Wow, it's got some basic listings in here of different things. Copyright 1983. Business and educational programs. So a whole bunch of basic programs in here. I can get this with the basic books. So that, and there's the button I have. Easy one for everyone. The IBM PCjr family computer. Little bit grimy, as are my hands from handling and cleaning this stuff as it went through. I've got a lot of cleaning. That Clorox wipe is kind of dried out. I got a lot of cleaning to do on some of these and to go through and order those power adapters. So in fact, I needed to scroll down, and I guess the viewership on this has been pretty good over time. Chat's been a little bit quiet, and I hope people have been entertained by my going over things, and not, powering it on or any of the two systems I have on, although there will be a chance for doing that. But it's been a nice stream for me. In fact, wow, the time has gone. I mean, we're almost on the 2-hour mark, and I recognize if people may have dropped off or something else, have other live streams that have come up that they needed to participate in, or anything like that. But it's been a fun stream for me as well, just to go through and kind of get a little bit of an inventory of what PCjr items I have, and to show those off. And we'll go a little bit further. I want to video capture. I want to go through. It'd be nice to get the CGA monitor going, but I think for people being able to see stuff, doing a video capture from the PCjr and going over some of those cartridges, maybe some of those games, going through and playing those, managing my money, of course, probably through that Andrew Tobias cartridge and diskettes. I could go through and run my life, I guess. So, but it's been a great stream. I thank you everyone for attending, whether you came on to the chat and talked a little bit or not. I've tried to keep my in the time I've been on camera, my lips visible, and of course I read when I had just the camcorder up and displayed what I was reading, to if anyone was hearing impaired, that they could go through and read lips. I'm certain that Google goes through and can auto transcribe this as well, maybe in replay. Hopefully does a good job for that, for people that watch this video in replay. But as we hit on the 2-hour mark of me being on the screen, and my headset's kept up with things, everything's been good otherwise, I am going to do my outro to say thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, please. My subscriber base is growing. And so that's all great. I don't know what upcoming videos I'm going to do this next week, or what the topic of the next live stream will be next week, but I'll try and keep on schedule. And you take care too, Hugh, as well. Faithful viewer, that can count on being present, watching, and enjoying the videos. This is IBM Museum, and that's all I have for now. Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for coming.